What up, Frugal Babes and Frugal Bobs? It's your girl, Crazy Karens, and I'm here for another awesome vlog about a company that I used twice in my life, and I recommend them 100%. Keep watching, and I'll tell you more about it. All right, so the company that I'm talking about is called MMI, Money Management International, and I found them a few years ago when I was in a little bit of a financial rut in my 20s. I got myself into a little bit of debt, like $5,000-$6,000. That's not a lot of money now, but when you're in your 20s and it's like your first time experiencing debt and creditors, that's like a lot. So I found this company, I used them, they were awesome, and then I paid down all of my debt. But then of course what ends up happening, you fall back into old habits, and I got myself into more credit cards. So fast forward, now I'm married and we have our daughter and blah 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 blah. Finances are getting tighter. I'm on maternity leave. It's the first time that I'm experiencing a huge cut in pay, but it was supplemented with, you know, tax returns and whatnot, so it wasn't too bad, but there was still way too much overhead. So my husband and I, like I said in episode 1, we were contemplating bankruptcy for like a minute, and then we realized, nah, that's way too drastic. And so I told my husband, I'm like, you know, there was this company that I used once, and they did this and that, and blah blah blah. He was like, yo, call them right now. So I was like, okay. So I got on the phone with them, and this is how the company works. You give them a call, and they will speak to you. They do like a counseling session. The session is about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. So be sure to be in a position where you can speak to these people and not rush them, because they're there to help you, you know? So they ask you a bunch of questions. They ask you about your income. They ask you if there's any like supplemental income, if there's any like child support, if there's any like extracurricular stipend that you get, whatever, any extra income aside from your base salary. They tally all that up. And then what takes the longest is the expenses, because they ask you about everything. So you got to be transparent, you know what I'm saying? So you tell them about your rent, if you own, if you have a car payment, all of your expenses. If you go out to the movies, how frequently do you go out to the movies? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Whatever. They just ask you a bunch of questions, and the counselor starts jotting all this information down. And then they ask you, you know, are there any like other things that you spend on? Maybe you like getting your hair done. Keratina.com. You see my keratin treatment? That is good, and so is Marsha. Can you believe Marsha does not subscribe to me? I have given that lady like so many props on my channel. Marsha, I'm coming after you. Whatever, moving on. I love you, Marsha. So they ask you, like, you know, do you do your hair? Do you do your nails? Do you have a pet? How much do you spend on pet supplies? All of that stuff. They go through it, and then they see, okay, well, this is how much is coming in. This is how much is going out. I'm seeing some areas where maybe we can cut down on the expenses, whatever. You don't have to do exactly what they tell you to do, but a part of the counseling session is that they have to offer you resources or advice on how to cut down on your expenses. They also send you like links about like workbooks that you can do and little exercises that you can jot down and just kind of reflect on your spending habits and your income and all that good stuff. Okay, so then once all of that stuff is done, they start explaining to you how the program works. So this is what, in essence, they do. You sign, I think it's what, like an affidavit or something. You allow them to be like a third party. I don't even know what it's called. Me in legal terms. That's why I am a music teacher, not a lawyer. But pretty much you're signing documents that say you are giving them permission to contact your creditors on your behalf. Whatever that is called, that is what they do, okay? So you do that. You sign the papers. Everything is done electronically. You send the papers back to them. They send you the debt management program, and they list all your debts. They say, okay, this is what you owe right now. These are your interest rates. We are going to contact your creditors, and we're going to lower your interest rates. So here's an example. I had two Chase credit cards, and one of them was at like a 15.9%. The other one was at like a 13 point something percent. So when the company took over, they got both of those cards down to a 2%. What? 2%. So I went from 15% on one card to now 2%, and the 13% on another card, 2%. I had a Discover card also that I put into the program. That Discover card I think was at like a 12% APR. They got it down to maybe like a 7% or a 9%. It wasn't as low as a 2%, but something is better than nothing. Then I asked them, this is my debt management plan, but can I add one of my husband's credit cards to this plan? And they were like, yes. So I was like, okay. So I took one of my husband's cards, put it on the plan. Again, it was like a 20-something% APR. They lowered it down to about a 10% APR. So that's what they do. They are not a loan company. If you're going to call them asking for a loan, they're not going to give you a loan because that's not what they do. They're not a bankruptcy company. Like, they're not gonna file bankruptcy for you. They manage your debt. And because you're allowing them to manage your debt, the credit card companies offer much lower APRs. Okay? Now here's the kicker, because there's always a kicker, guys. Okay? Once you sign your debt management plan, you are signing a contract saying that you will not open any more credit for the duration of your contract with them. If that is hard for you, if you feel that that's not something you can do, then don't go with MMI and stay broke, stay in debt. But if you feel that your overhead is too much, you got way too much credit, you can't handle the 24.99 APR or the 15.99 APR or the 32 point whatever APR, if you feel you can't handle that, and you want a little bit of a break, you want to be able to breathe, then I encourage you to call MMI, okay? Because I used them twice in my life, and they were phenomenal, fantastic. So, going back, that's the big kicker. Now, when I signed up with them, you don't have to put every single card in the debt management program. You only put what you want to put in. So, I took the credit cards that I felt, I'm not going to use these credit cards anymore, and I only kept 2 credit cards aside. I didn't put them in the program. That was my Walmart card, which Walmart saved my life, and that's going to be a whole other vlog, and my credit union card. So my credit union card, I don't really use my credit cards anymore, so the credit union card always has like a 0 balance on it, or maybe like $100 or like maybe $500, and I use it for emergencies. Like if I need brand new tires and I have no money, boom, it goes on that card. But I don't use it much. My Walmart card, when I do the vlog, I'll tell you why I have a Walmart card and why I will never get rid of it. I didn't put that one in because, again, I have a $5,300 limit on my Walmart card, and it is always at 0. Okay? But I'll give you details about that later. So those 2 cards didn't get involved or incorporated into the DMP, Debt Management Program. So I signed my contract, and I did not open any other credit. Not at all. I gotta find the paperwork. I'm gonna see if I can find it and just, show you like a little screenshot of how much it was that I owed. And you can see like the percentages of how low it went. When I tell you that I was paying I was paying about like $450 a month on this debt management program, and you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but before the debt management program, I was paying maybe $700 a month. Okay, and now this $450 a month, more of it was going to principal. So every month when I would look at my statements, the numbers were coming down drastically because those 14, 15, 17, 18, 20% APRs were no longer that high. They were like 2%, 6%, 9%. They were very, very low. Now the company, they do require a fee, and if I'm not mistaken, it's like a $25 a month fee. So that $450 that I was paying, $25 was going to MMI, $425 was going to my creditors. And that's how I got a hold of my credit cards and of that credit card debt. I don't have any more credit card debt. Nope, I don't. The last few $1,000s that we had in credit card debt with MMI, my husband has really fantastic credit, and so he offered to take that last $10,000 that I had with MMI and we transferred it over to the credit card because he gets a 0% APR for like 15 months or something. So we were like, okay, let's save those $25 now that we're sending to MMI, because we had at this point paid about $14,000 off with MMI in a matter of, I would say, two years. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, and we were very, very excited about that. So we said, let's just take this last $10,000, pay them off with one of those like checks that they send you for those balance transfers. We sent it to MMI. MMI congratulated me on paying my debt, but technically, I mean, the debt still exists. It's just under my husband's name now. It's not under my name. And those $400 and some dollars that we were sending to MMI, now we just send it to the Discover card, and it is 100% going to the principal. So that debt is coming down really, really fast. And that's the debt that we're focusing on right now to get rid of. Once we get rid of that one, then we'll focus on the car and we'll focus on some other things. But I'm telling you, if you are in a position where your credit cards are killing you, they're drowning you, you're tired of seeing 1-800 numbers, 866 numbers on your phone, give them a call. I'm going to put their information below. It doesn't hurt to have a consultation. It's a free consultation. You decide after the consultation if you want to do the debt management program, but I'm telling you, y'all, what's the word I'm looking for? I recommend them wholeheartedly. I recommend them 100%. There are some other companies that I have used that I'm like, I don't know if I would recommend them. I will talk about them in some future vlogs, but I wanted to talk about MMI first because they're awesome. It does not hurt your credit, my friends, because it's not a loan. It's not bankruptcy. It is debt management. What it does is it helps your credit score because now your credit is coming down quicker. Granted, there is a little bit of a stain on your credit report in the beginning because they are closing these accounts. So if you're like submitting 5 accounts, yes, your credit score is going to hurt for like the first few months because it's like, bam, close account, close account, close account. Yes, but I promise you that as the months progress, you're going to watch it about 6 months top, your credit scores are going to start increasing. Like I said, I'm going to post the information below, and if you have any other questions, if there is something that maybe I didn't touch upon that you're like, wait a minute, but I have a question about this, comment below, ask me, email me, talk to me. This is not a one-way street. This is a two-way street. All right, y'all. So as always, I love that you have tuned in again. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, comment below, and I'm hoping to see you back next Wednesday for more of my Frugal Mom series.